What's good, Wave Gang? It's your boy, AP Waves, back with another video. And before we get too deep into this video, go ahead and hit the like button for me. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button for me. That would be greatly appreciated. I want to do this video because I feel like with how fast they come out with these buffs. They're doing 2 a month now. Started out with 3 a month. It's kind of hard to wrap your head around. First of all the champions that have been buffed, and even how to play these champions. That part of it we won't discuss right now because at the end of the day, I don't know how to play every champion that got buffed. But what I will say is I have played with quite a few of the newly buffed champions, and I want to do a video of my personal top 5 good buffs and the top 5, or would you say the low 5? I don't know. Either way, the worst buffs that they've done. But this one, we're gonna start out on a positive note. So we're gonna do what I think are the top 5, and I'm gonna say this with an asterisk: newer buffs, like as in like Red Magneto and Hulkbuster, and honestly even Kingpin and Mole Man. Like, to me, like, those are already been established. Those have already, we already know they're great buffs. But I think lately there has been some buffs that came out that have really went under the radar. So this video is going to be my top 5 buff champions with the asterisk of recent. So we're gonna start the list out, and we're gonna start it out with King Groot. I think King Groot's buff actually was really good for the champion. Did it break the game? Not by any means, but I think it actually made King Groot a pretty good option for a lot of nodes, acid wash, things of that nature. His damage is way better. Now that's obviously with the stance of his pre-buff, damage was pretty terrible, but I like him. I liked him to the point where I took him to rank 2. So that tells you right there that I really dig the champion a lot. Now, do I play him as much as I want to? No, but he also has he's better with a higher sig level, which is why I didn't put him too high on this list. Now, the list gets pretty tricky because there's a lot more champions that I want to put on there, but it's hard to get those in there. Like, I really want to put Nebula on this list, but the problem with it is I haven't played with Nebula long enough, and her buff was so recent that it's hard to really get a gauge on like how good I actually, or how good, not me, but how good she'll actually be. I mean, some of you may think that it's already been established, but I like to give it a little bit more time before I would like put her over some other champions on this list, with saying that she very well possibly could be on this list easily. Like I said, if I miss somebody, it is what it is. Just let me know down in the comments nicely. You know what I'm saying? All fun here. Who you think? But number 4 is going to be Miles Morales. I love Miles Morales. I want to dupe him. I want to take him to rank 3. I think that they did how they did his buff was very clever. I think that it adds a new, it adds a different play style to the game. But yeah, I think it's really good. I think he's a lot more useful than he was. And it's Miles Morales. Like, come on. Ooh, I always get that mixed up. It's Miles Morales, man. It's Miles Morales. And technically, Miles Morales is right there too. So either way I point, it's still pointing to a Miles Morales. We got Miles Morales on both sides. So I wasn't wrong. But yeah, I do approve, and he will be ranked up. Now, the next best buff, in my opinion, where are they at? So that was number 4. Am I drawing? I'm not. Who was it that was number 3 on my list? I know I have him as a 6-star. Oh, duh. This one is a little bit, I could move Falcon off the list and put Nebula here just for the simple fact that Falcon's buff was a little while ago. But I feel like the Falcon buff doesn't really get talked about a lot because I think Kingpin and Mole Man, when they got buffed, were talked about for so long that the Falcon's buff kind of went under the radar. But his buff and his ability to lock on and bypass a lot of the tricky nodes, and the fact that he just flat out has a lot more damage than what it used to have, is very good. I would take him up, but it's like everything that he's useful for, I already have Killmonger for. So maybe one day Falcon will go up, but right now he's not duped, and I don't really need him for a lot of things because of the fact that I have Killmonger. But some of you may like Falcon more, which I guess is okay. Everybody knows Killmonger's goated, but Falcon, really good. You can interchange him and Nebula here if you want to go off the fact that Falcon's buff is a little bit older, but I just wanted to bring a little light to Falcon's buff because he doesn't get talked about that much from what I've seen. But the top 2 champions of the recent buffs, in my opinion, were I think you guys, you might know, it might kind of be obvious, but number 2, I had to go with Diablo. This dude was completely unusable. I think that if you run Super Slide Masteries, you know what I'm saying, wink wink, we know what Super Slides are. This dude's absolute monster. Like, he's so sustainable. His poison damage goes crazy. His SP3 can just absolutely melt somebody down if you got the poison stacks built up right. Like, this dude went from being a total dud to like top of the Mystic class. Like, I would put him in as a solid like third to fourth best Mystic in the game. Like, if you go Doctor Doom 1, Black Widow, Clairvoyant 2, like at that point, like there's nobody that I'm definitively putting over Diablo. Like, he's that good, and I use this champion on a daily basis. I think they absolutely smashed his buff, and yeah, he's absolutely amazing. Love him. That's why he's at rank 3. And number 1, I honestly was, like I said, debating back and forth between who should be 1, who should be 2. But in all honesty, you can't go wrong with either one of these champions. Ultron is a tank. First of all, I'm a Hulkbuster, player. Like, I play Hulkbuster. So if I just throw Ultron on, that's a dynamic duo. And if you add Warlock into there, that Trinity is amazing. I don't know if you can call them a Trinity because, Hulkbuster and Warlock don't really go together. But if you run Super Slides with Warlock and Ultron, they get a damage boost at the beginning. And anytime, they try to inflict a debuff that they're immune to, a Fury. It makes him really good. He's actually can do the Mr. Sinister fight with Warlock, if you guys don't know that. I'm sure that Warlock and Ultron together will absolutely smash through that Mr. Sinister now. But yeah, he's very simple. I know that his functions look kind of hard to get at first, but he's simple. His damage is amazing. He's sustainable with the 2 regions that he can get in a fight. And the evade sometimes can be annoying, but once you get used to it, it can save you a lot, and it has saved me a lot. This dude is a beast. They killed this buff, and in my opinion, he is the best of the recent buffs. 2 champions that I personally could have put in this list too. Thor. I just think Thor Ragnar God is what we're calling him now. But he's not as good for as many situations as some of these champions. And another champion that I strongly debated on putting in there and strongly debated on ranking up instead of King Groot is Venompool. But I just feel like Venompool is I don't know. I personally don't like him as much. I know there's a lot of Venompool fans out there. I'm just not, the biggest Venompool fan, but I understand he's very good. He almost made the list. But yeah, him and Thor and Nebula are some honorable mentions that could easily be in the top 5 of this list. But this is just my personal list. So if you guys have any different ones, let me know down in the comment. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It's gonna be your boy AP Waves out.